get your license and registration, sir?
Here's my gas pedal.
Oh my. Hey! Hey! Back!
Holy shit, that thing's a pile of shit.
Yeah, gosh, that's gonna be a problem here. We're gonna get yourself something better than that, and that's gonna be the title for today's technically episode 1 podcast for the top off. Getting yourself a reliable car.
Absolutely. No, today's episode is all about the best daily drivers you can get for each price point. I feel like the price points we set out are pretty decent. So we're going to just get right into it, should we?
Let's do it. Yeah, I'll let you start.
So we have 3 separate groups, price points that we have set up. So we have the budget, basic, and expensive price points. So to start with our my budget price point picks, I chose for the first one the 2000 Honda CR-V. These can range anywhere from like $2,000 to $6,000. I found one. I'll put a screenshot of the Facebook Marketplace listing. This one is in Roseburg. It is a 1999 Honda CR-V at $3,450. And so that's a pretty good price for these, and it's a very clean example at that. So this one's a nice white, and I mean, it's a little bit higher up there in miles. It's got 190,000 miles.
It's a Honda.
But it is a Honda. It's basically just broken in. It's perfectly fine. There was nothing wrong with it from what the listing said. But that's something you need to check whenever you go take a look at that.
And CR-V stands for Certified Racing Vehicle, for people who don't know. So, it's got its goods.
All right. Yeah, that was my first one. I don't know if Max has a...
Yeah, let me get my old phone out here. Found some things for today. For my budget, for the old 5,000 and under, went with the old 95 Toyota Tercel base model.
Tercel? Is that the all-wheel drive one?
I don't think so. I'm not sure. But this one is priced at $2,995. It's got 121,000 miles on it. And for a 95 and a Toyota, it's not bad. And I did all my stuff on Carfax. I don't know if you did all your stuff on Marketplace or not.
I did everything I did on Marketplace. I found examples and took screenshots of them.
Perfect. So he'll have the Facebook Marketplace side of things, and then I'll have a Carfax side of things. So you kind of get 2 different descriptions. Carfax is a little bit more of like almost dealer-based, but it's got to pop up in the pub beer. I haven't got mine yet, but for the Toyota Tercel, this one's got no accident or damage reported. That's a plus, especially for a 95. Mm-hmm. It's only had 2 owners. Can you believe that? First owner bought it.
And you said 95?
Yep. First owner bought it July 26, 1995, when the car came out.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And owned it until 2015. April 22nd, 2015. And then the second owner purchased it, obviously, that day, and owned it until this month.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So, but... 121,000 miles for old Tercel. My mom had a Tercel.
Really?
Back in the day, yeah. She learned how to drive stick on that. I believe this might be the manual one too. So, I mean, for the people who want to learn how to drive stick, that'd probably be your best car. I believe it's a 4-speed, so pretty sick. Yeah. Jake will put this photo on here.
I will include that photo.
But you'll see it. But we'll go to Jake's number 2.
All right. So my number 2 pick for the under 5,000 category is going to be the Acura Legend. So this is kind of going to be your more luxury entry level car. So these can range from anywhere from $500 in like pretty bad condition, because they're basically a Honda. And they aren't treated quite as nice as they should be. But there's also although they'll range all the way up to like $6,000, which are like the really nice ones taken care of. So I found an example in Modesto, California, for $4,000 at 198,000 miles, so just under 200,000 miles. Not bad, and it was very clean on the inside. This is your luxury. It's got all like the trim. It looks nice. It looks like a nice car. And then it also has a V6 in it too, so you gotta get some good power out of that.
Big plus side of him looking at these California cars is most of them are going to pass emission tests, because California is probably the worst state in the whole 50 states that we're in. I don't know if Hawaii's something different because they're one of the separate ones, but they're one of those states that are very strict on emission laws. So like, say my car, for example, and probably 2 of Jake's other vehicles, they don't have catalytic converters at all. So
what's that?
Yeah, no catalytic converters, nothing to steal either, but that's just if someone were to inspect your vehicle, like if you're like changing titles or going to a different like state with a vehicle, they're gonna inspect your vehicle. If they don't see that you have a catalytic converter, they ain't gonna take it.
That's right.
And you won't be able to either register in that state or really do much with it.
Mm-hmm.
But California vehicles are a plus. So not only are these good, reliable vehicles to start out with, but they're gonna pass emissions if that's a problem.
Absolutely. And then, Max, do you have another one for the under 5,000 category?
Yeah, this one kind of hits home a little bit. 06 Toyota Corolla. It's the CE model. And this one, kind of a beater. You'll see the photo right here, but paint's fading. It's a typical Toyota thing, especially for those years. But this is for $24.95, and it has 223,676 miles. A little high, but it's a Toyota. Those things got some strong little 4 cylinders in them, and as long as they're mainly just kind of kept up with maintenance, I think it's a pretty good vehicle.
Did you have a listing description for that one?
Well, this one we got, let's see, first owner bought it in 2006.
Oh.
So they got it pretty much brand new, owned it here in Oregon until, September 20th of 2019. So they owned it for quite a while. And second owner purchased it along about the same time, September 20th, 2019, and owned until this month on the 27th. So last service, 223,000 miles. So, I mean, no accident or damage reported on it.
Nice.
It's a clean title. So,
well, having service at that high is pretty good. And that's, what, you said 230,000 was last service?
Yeah, 223,000 miles was last service.
So it's only had its last service like 20,000 miles ago?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Good starting vehicle,
Absolutely.
especially for price-wise. It's very affordable.
And then my last one for the 5,000 under category is going to be the Lexus SC. So these could be the 300 or the 400. These are kind of your more sporty cars. I mean, we're kind of going for daily drivers, but Lexus is really known for its reliability, especially being a Toyota brand. So I was able to find a 1992 Lexus SC 400. So this has got the 1UZ, the infamous one that I have in the LS 400 you saw in the first clip.
Yeah.
And that thing will run forever. I mean, there's plenty of them past 500,000, even 1 million miles. So I found this one for $5,000. So this is at the top. This is $5,000 at 228,000 miles. So not terrible. It's a little high, but you're getting a sporty car, especially a nice looking one.
Well, how many miles do you have on your Lexus right there?
On my Lexus, I have 170,000 miles, and the only thing that's ever been bad on it was the ECU, and that's pretty easy to replace.
Yeah.
So that's
not even engine related. That's just computer related.
Exactly.
So.
And I believe the SC's had less problems than the LS 400s.
For sure.
So that's a good one to look into, and especially if you're looking for something sporty with some luxury touches into it too. I got the Facebook Marketplace post right here. You can see how nice this one looks. It's in black, and I believe it was somewhere in Oregon. So it's not a bad one to look at.
Sweet.
Do you have another one for the
5K? That was the last one I had for the 5K, so I guess we'll switch to the next one, which was, let's see, we did 5K, and we're doing
5 to 15K.
So 5 to 10, 5 to 15K. So a lot of my vehicles, you guys are going to realize, are pretty similar when it comes to brand, mainly because from experience that I've had with these vehicles and or some of my friends have had, they've been pretty damn reliable. So this one right here, and I'm a big fan of these. I almost bought one of these a couple years ago, but it's a 2012 Honda Accord SE.
Nice.
So pretty nice model. And this one has 95,666 miles. 2012, not bad. Still kind of high if you put in for how many miles this person was putting in a year on it, but they want $13,338. This thing is super clean. Photo right here.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, you can see the photo right there. I mean, it's a pretty good looking car. So, and I'm a pretty big fan of them. The sport model is really cool. Dual exhaust, V6.
Because I think those had VTEC as well, right?
Yeah.
At least the 4 cylinders. Yeah. I'm not sure about the V6.
But this car has been through a few owners. It's been through 4 owners. And let's see, the first person bought it September 27th, 2012, and it was owned in California, so good thing for emissions right there.
Absolutely.
The car should pass all of it. It's kind of been passed around, but it has been California owned pretty much since the start. Kind of funny, the last service was here in the town that we're living in as of, gosh, let's see, about, I don't even know what month. Can't read numbers apparently. But anyways, it was just It was
Probably
serviced
recently,
Yeah,
'cause
it
it's
was
at the
serviced
dealership, right?
earlier this year, and that was his Carfax up in, let's see, yeah, it's near Clam Falls, so they probably just got it at the dealership.
Nice. Okay.
One of the dealerships here in town, but looks like a lot of the services on it were pretty simple. They did cabin air filter, they did alignment, oil filter, oil change, and they replaced the rear brake pads, so that could be something to look out for.
Yeah.
Make sure you guys are always reading your descriptions, and of course,
Yeah.
if you want to see the vehicle, give the person a call or message
Absolutely.
them on a Marketplace. Marketplace might be a little bit different. Some people
Yeah.
are expecting you to buy it the moment you get there, but just
Definitely
do your
try
research.
to take a look around the vehicle before you buy it.
Yeah,
obviously.
definitely make sure to.
All of these
get
are
your looks.
kind of just listings we're finding here.
Yeah.
So my first one for the 5 to 15K range is going to be a 1999 4Runner. So these, I mean, they're bulletproof. They're a Toyota, and I know someone that's got a Tacoma that was in this kind of year and all this, and he's had it for years. Never let him down. So I got here's the listing here. So it's 1999 Toyota 4Runner at $13,500 and at 205,000 miles. It's a very clean one, given the mileage and all that. And this one I think is also at a dealership, but it's in a nice red. The engine bay is phenomenally clean. I don't know if I have a photo of that, but I'll try to include that here. But yes, it looks very well maintained. This one's up in Portland, but these tend to range between 4K, which is lower than our budget we set, but those are ones that you probably don't even want to look at.
Yeah.
And then these go all the way up to 14K for really, really nice ones, obviously. So yeah, that was my first one for the 5 to 15K range.
Gotcha. Okay. All right, I'll go for my number 2 here. This one I decided because I have a friend who works at the local bar up here, local tap house, and I've been seeing him drive around an '07 Toyota Sienna minivan forever. This dude takes this thing absolutely everywhere. So I seen this listing and I was like, shit, might as well just put it on here.
Absolutely.
So this is a '07 Toyota Sienna LE for $6,995. So not too much above the $5,000 limit. So still within reason.
Absolutely.
It's got 171,000 miles on it, so you can tell these people who owned it definitely
took
driving
on
it
trips
around
and
a little
stuff.
bit.
But those are probably like highway miles, considering it's like a minivan and all that.
Definitely. And this is another California-owned vehicle, and this one is serviced in Orville, California, at 163,924. So it's been a heavy little bit of miles since the last service, because it's got 171 now. So they put about 8,000 since it's been last registered as a service. But this has been a California-owned vehicle since the start, so it will pass emissions. Only had 2 owners, clean title. So, I think from the looks, I'm always seeing Sienna vans around from, the early models to the new models. They're pretty popular, good family vehicle.
They just don't die, do they?
Yeah, it could be a good road trip vehicle for the boys if you're going to skate parks or meets or something. So, it could be the gas hauler.
I like that we have kind of a wide variety of types of cars we got going on here, because you got the minivan. This last car I did was the Toyota Tacoma and the 4Runner. So we kind of got a giant range of even small cars to bigger cars and SUVs and all that. Yeah,
small pickups, SUVs, vans, cars. Absolutely. Just remember some of these vehicles, that van's going to get decent gas mileage. Her Tacomas are not super good on gas, and neither are 4Runners, but it's all about
you guys remember the Top Gear episode where they tried to destroy it? Was it the 4Runner?
No, I was thinking it was a Toyota Hilux.
Hilux, yes.
Yeah.
They they couldn't destroy it.
Yeah, engine still was running.
Live forever.
Still drove.
All right, so my second one for the 5 to 15K range is going to be a Volkswagen Golf GTI. So this is when you start to get into some faster cars, some
fart shifts.
Yeah. You hear Volkswagen at a budget price point, and you're like, am I gonna have issues with this? But actually, $15,000 is basically what the GTIs kind of range around. It's like 7 to 10 ish. So I was able to find a 2003 Volkswagen GTI in this pretty blue. Look at this photo here. This thing is immaculate. The owner really loves it. You can see it in the description. I don't know if I took a screenshot of that, but he really appreciated this car. You can tell. So this is for sale for $9,000, and it's only got 166,000 miles for a GTI. That's a little high, but it looks really well maintained. So you can sort of get into some aftermarket stuff with some of those GTIs, and they will, as long as you don't do too much aftermarket stuff, they will be great daily drivers.
Yeah,
absolutely. All right, do you have another one for the 5 to 15?
I do. So yeah, this one right here is kind of sticks to me a little bit better too. I didn't really talk about it in the little prologue episode we did, but I had a 2017 Hyundai Elantra for a while. Had it for a few years. Recently sold it when I moved here last year, but so the car that I found is a 2014 Hyundai Elantra, and this is the hatchback version, similar to what I had. It's the base model, so nothing too crazy. And it has 95,000 miles on it, and they want $10,990 for it, so about $11K. And personally, from experience driving these cars, I mean, I drove it halfway across the country, didn't have any problems with it. I had a really good alignment on it. It did eat tires a little bit, and we were driving on some pretty crazy roads, I-80 and I-70 all the way back to the West Coast. So
how many miles do you say were on it?
This one only has 95,875. For 2014, it's not too bad.
So that's enough for a good ownership, because I know those engines kind of cap out at like 120,000, but that's enough for like you to own it at least.
Yeah, I drove a piston on the car that I had. I probably put about 50K on it for the amount of time I owned it. For the past few years I owned it, and never really had any crazy problems with it. I noticed it liked to burn a little bit of oil, so I definitely think that's a Hyundai thing, I feel like. But this car has had 3 different owners on it, and it was purchased in Texas. That's where it was originally from.
Oh, nice.
Made its way over to California, and now it's up in Oregon now. But for the most part, I mean, it seems like the first owner drove it a decent amount, but second and third owner didn't really put too much miles on it. No accident damage, clean title.
Nice.
So
all right, that's
a good one.
entry.
It's a good compact car, and it's got that trunk space.
It's got some like newer car vibes for the price point we got for sure. So that's always good.
It's a good big city vehicle because it's small.
Absolutely. So my next entry is going to be the Honda Accord. Max brought one up earlier. He brought the previous gen. I'm thinking like the 2009 to like 2017. So this is going to be the next few years newer. And so these range from 6K to 14K. It really depends on like how much body damage they kind of have. They don't really have the best owners. So you can find these pretty good for less than 14K though. I have an example here, 2017, a Honda Accord hybrid. So you're going to get some pretty good gas mileage out of this for 14.2 thousand and at 100,000 miles. So
do those have the hybrid battery in them?
I don't know what the battery situation is.
Gotcha.
They said they were pretty good on maintenance, and then that it has been pretty well maintained. But
I just know if those ever crap out, if it does have a hybrid battery in it, that's going to be pretty much a new car to replace that.
Right. So keep that in mind if you're buying a hybrid or stuff like that. The older hybrids, they were less efficient, and the batteries tended to die out on them way quicker. So
yeah.
There's that. But yeah, this thing looked pretty good, and that's why I included it on my list. It's
can't go
a
wrong.
Honda.
Can't go wrong with Hondas,
Absolutely.
man. They're good-looking cars.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I guess now this will get us into our top-tier money list. So this is going to be 15K to 25K. So this is going to be somebody who's taking out a loan or, is putting a really good down payment on a vehicle that's going to be pretty dang reliable and a little bit newer.
Absolutely.
So my first one, can't believe it, it's another Honda. A 2018 Honda Civic LX. So I really like these cars. I always thought they had a really good look to them. The Type R models are gorgeous.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm a huge fan. I know they're pretty controversial with looks because people like that old style Honda look, but to me this one was really good. But this is a 2018. It has 53,000 miles on it, so it's pretty low mileage for a 2018. And they want 18.5. So this thing's pretty much brand new in my opinion, because most of these cars, I mean, if you were to get a 2018 now with like 20K miles, they'd probably be asking 26, 27.
Absolutely. So it's not a bad price for that.
Not too bad, and this is another California-owned vehicle.
And what's the color on that you said?
There's a good white on here.
Oh, the whites are pretty. I love Honda white.
White's pretty. It's going to be a little bit more tedious to clean if you're going to be, it's going to be getting dirty very quick, but they'll still look good pretty much no matter what you do. No accidents or anything on this vehicle, and it was a California-owned vehicle for a while until now it is an Oregon-owned vehicle. Beer burp. He's going to have another list on here for the beer burps. I'm going to have the
counters again.
But pretty much, I mean, first, second, and third owner, they both drove it around the same amount of miles per year. But, I mean, 53,000 miles.
That's new.
That's pretty much brand new. And
newer than any car I've ever had.
Good luxury cars, and they'll probably have, I think the 2018s, those newer models had the nice heads-up display in there.
Absolutely.
So you'd actually have might have CarPlay and stuff in there, too. So
yeah, I really like those. Those have nice interiors and all that. So my first entry is going to be more of a fun entry. So you're going to get the drift tax for these.
Here we go.
So my first entry is a Nissan 350 to 370Z. So you can pick these up from anywhere from below the price point we have at 15, but you're not going to get a unabused one for it. So I have here's one I found, a 2009 Nissan 370Z with a clean title. That's hard to find in these.
Yeah.
It really is.
How's that paint looking on there? Is it looking mint?
It was all right. It's black,
Photos
so
of me there.
even worse. But it was for $22,000, and it only had 52,000 miles.
Jeez.
They're probably a heavy 52,000 miles, but
yeah,
these cars are really beat on. So if you can find a really nice example, you gotta snatch that thing up. These are gonna skyrocket in the next following years, I guarantee
100%.
it. But yeah, that's what I found for that. It's a nice sports car and with a decent price. So that's what I would suggest.
Gotcha. Okay, well, I'm going to be doing another crazy vehicle. You guys are going to have no idea what it is. It's another Honda. So this is a
75% of your list, if not more.
Yeah, dude, I told you right from the start. This is going to be a list that I've seen just from reliability standpoints and just seeing other people around me driving and owning them. I am a big Toyota and Honda guy. You guys are going to come find out when it comes to reliability parts. I mean, I don't own one right now, but I low-key wish I did. Mm-hmm. So this is 21 Honda Accord LX, and it has 48,000 miles on it, so just a little bit less than the other one, but they want $22,000 for this thing, so about $4,500 more. Yeah, $4,500 more, and you can get, that was a 2018 before, so about 3.5 years more.
Let me take a look at that thing.
Yeah, not bad.
Oh, wow. It's got the stock wheels and everything on it.
Yes, and this Accord body, we'll put the photo up here. I love the new generation Accords. I think they are gorgeous.
They look great.
They are really sleek looking, the headlights and taillights. If you put some nice wheels on them too, it's going to look really good. Absolutely. But here we go. This was only owned by one person. I mean, to be expected. It's a 2021. They probably only had it for a couple years, but this vehicle, on the other hand, and you're going to have to look out for this, was a rental use vehicle. So this car has been rented out. So you got to put that into consideration. They want $22,000 for it.
How many miles were on this?
48,000.
Why was it taken out of rental?
It was mainly just California. That's a good question. Maybe the dealership just decided.
I feel like our rental place, they keep cars till I think 2019. Right now.
So this could have been a situation of a business could have gone out. I mean, I guess that could have been one, or maybe they were trying to lighten their stock on vehicles because of a money-saving issue.
And there wasn't any body damage, was there?
No body damage. Okay, everything seemed to be good. It seemed to be good. No accident, no damage, clean title. And it was a California vehicle, so I just got to keep that in mind. It could be some crazy California drivers. No offense to Californians out there, but
just make sure your inspection's good.
Yeah, just make sure inspection's good, and that will pass emissions.
That's true. That's nice. So my next entry is going to be a nice, reliable, and fun entry. So these last three for me are just going to be
They're
going to
be completely different from
exactly. He's getting for the reliable, newer ones. I'm going for like the also reliable, but a little more fun on it. So I got a Lexus IS. So these are kind of be the mid-range on Lexus, I think, because I think they start out the ES and then the IS and the LS. So this is going to be a sporty one. You can find these from $12,000 to $34,000. So right in our price range. And I found a 2015 Lexus IS in automatic, which, I mean, it's all right. For $24,000 at 101,000 miles. And this thing is going to be sporty. It's going to be luxurious. You're going to have all the features you'd ever want.
Bro. Comfort.
And the styling is immaculate. Let me include the picture right here before I forget. And the styling looks great. So, he's got some aftermarket like lips and stuff, which kind of add to it. But I just love the look of these. So that's why I included it.
Yeah. Make sure another thing when you're looking at vehicles is to notice how much aftermarket stuff's on them. Because if you find a vehicle and it looks super clean, but it's got wheels and it's lowered and, maybe in that case some new lips on it. I mean, Lexus is different. It seems like those types of cars people don't like to modify very much.
Absolutely.
But other cars, kind of like the 350Z that we were chatting about,
they can get beat on.
And that is a very telltale sign that they've probably been driven pretty hard. So that's you can just cut those future miles down by half, if not more than that. But
yeah, some of the things you'd want to look for is like new wheels because they could have curbed them, new shocks, new oil change, or it says needs O2 sensor. It needs more than that.
Those are just little things and that they're going to tell you, but they're not going to tell you the other things. All right, so here's my last vehicle for these little subjects here. 2016 Toyota Corolla. Big shocker. Another Toyota, another Honda, like I said before. So this is the Sport Plus model.
Sport Plus. So let me take a look at that.
This one looking pretty good.
Nice. I like the sports.
Yeah, nothing too crazy. Photo can go up here. We might not have the exact photos because I got mine from CarMax, so we could just probably put it in a photo.
Yeah, a photo.
The exact same model, color, and everything. But this is 2016. It's got 57,000 miles on it, so not too bad. Still staying underneath the 100K, which is good. I've definitely seen new cars that have 150 plus already.
How much did you say that was?
18,845. So
it's a little high for that.
High, but it's the Sport Plus, so it's the funner package for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my word usage there. Funner's not a word. Anyways, so this car has only had 2 owners, and the first owner purchased it here in Oregon.
Nice.
So, and I mean, when it comes to emissions, like I've been big on this whole episode, Oregon's usually mostly pretty strict about it for the most part, unless it's a project car and something fun. You can get away with not having to pass an emissions test out here, but we're right on the border.
In the bigger cities, you'd have some issues.
Yeah, like maybe Portland or Eugene or somewhere in the valley, but there's no accidents or reported damage on this vehicle last serviced here in this town, so it's going to be at the dealership. Caught my phone. But, seems to be a pretty good vehicle. It's only been through a couple owners, and well, I guess we'll see about that one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sport Plus, so it'll have a little fun package, a little bit more power.
I don't know what the sport includes on those, but
we'll do our research on that.
Yeah, we'll look into that.
Something like that.
So for my last entry, I this is something I'd actually probably get. So this is a Genesis. So it's a Hyundai's luxury brand. It's a Genesis G80. So this has got the big, the V6 twin turbo V6. So you got lots of power. I think it's like over 400 or something like that, and I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that.
I'll search it.
So it's a 2017 Genesis G80. Here's a photo here, and this was in Caldwell, Idaho. So if you live in Idaho, here's a good option for you.
It's a pretty car.
It's got 22,000 miles at 22K at 82,000 miles. My bad. I mixed up the numbers. But yeah, so this is the all-wheel drive version. And you get some beautiful styling and luxury and all this stuff. I'd say the only problem you got is it's a Hyundai, so I don't know what the G80 engines kind of go out at, but this is a beautiful example of one, and it's black, but it looks great. So that's just something I might pick up. That's to me, that's one of my favorite entries here on the list.
Yeah, it's pretty.
And like I said, that was 22,000
car. Yeah, looks good. 311 to 420.
No, it definitely gives off better styling than it.
It's like the luxurious side of a Hyundai, huh?
Yeah, it gives off it doesn't look like a Hyundai at all.
Yeah,
it gives Lexus a run for its money for real.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so that was pretty much the rundown of all of the lists we had. So we got the budget and the basic, and then the expensive groups of prices for those. So then Max is our in-house specialist on F1 racing. So he has some news from this last weekend, I think.
Yeah, so I think from now on I'm going to do a little news topic in here, mainly about Formula One, because that's my main focus on motorsport. Yeah, main focus on motorsport. And sometimes I'll get into some endurance racing during the year, but so right now I've just been really big into F1. So if there's any F1 listeners that are going to be on this podcast, and hopefully new ones in the future, you will know that this year is the year for Max Verstappen. The dude is just on a roll.
What was it? There was a recent race this last weekend. What was it, number 13 that he's won?
No, yeah, this will be his 8th win in a row.
8th win in a row, and it's...
And we just went to the summer break, so there's only, I believe there's 10 races left.
10 races.
They've done 12 out of the...
That's right, 12.
No. Yeah, they did 13, so it's right. 13 races. Cause
and all of those are Red Bull wins, right?
Yeah, there has not been another winner this year. It has all been Red Bull. 2 of them have been from Sergio Perez's teammate, and the rest have been from Max. Max is on a roll. This will be the 3rd year in a row that this dude's going to be winning the championship. And I don't want people to go in there and say, oh, you're deciding too soon. This man has 314 points, and that's in the Constructors' Championship right now for the drivers. And Sergio Perez's teammate has 189. So if Max were to get... I think it was a statistic from 2 races ago. If he were to place 2nd for the rest of the season, he would still win the championship.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And how many races are left?
There's 10 races left. So
holy shit! So there's only like about a little bit halfway. And
yeah, I give it, because we're going into summer break. Today was the last race for the summer break, so we'll be going back end of August.
Nice. Okay.
And from there, I think Max needs to win like 2 or 3 more races at most for a statistically no one can beat him or catch up to him. So, dude's already got the championship in the bag.
Wow.
So, pretty crazy.
What's like the record for like winning F1 races? Was it?
So consecutively, Red Bull just beat the record of
That's
all-time wins in a row. So they hit 12 wins last race, and now they are at 13 wins in a row.
Who was it they just beat out?
Let's take a gander here. I'd like to say it's probably going to be probably Ferrari.
Ferrari with.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy. So, but they're up there. I mean, they're the top dogs in Formula One now when it comes to wins, and I mean, still haven't equaled out when it comes to Ferrari having 7 championships and.
Right.
Actually, no, Ferrari's got well more than 7 championships, but Red Bull's catching up. Red Bull's catching up to Mercedes, that's for sure, when it comes to Grand Prix wins. And, I mean, Max has just surpassed 44, I think, which is ironic because, I don't know if it was 44 or not. I'm going to have to do my research next time. Yeah. You can just cut this whole thing out. We'll just go back to the beginning here. But they got the most wins right now of any F1 team. And the big one for me is going to be Constructors. So Constructors is with the team's points combined. And this one kind of caught me a little off guard yesterday when I screenshotted this up. But Red Bull has 503 points in the Constructors' Championship right now when Mercedes has 247 and they're in second.
Wow.
Yeah, because Max and Sergio have been getting 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-3. You know, so it's been pretty impressive when it comes to their driving this year. So, but... Maybe this year, I mean, Aston Martin and Ferrari are 3rd and 4th, and Aston Martin's got 196 points, and Ferrari's got 191. Nice. And right now, McLaren's got 103, but they've been showing a lot of promise past couple races with 2 podiums. So they're catching up. I mean, by the end of the season, maybe by the next 10 races,
might try to challenge Max.
McLaren could be challenging up to the 4th and 3rd in the Constructors, but I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to see another winner this year. But.
So what was this last race? Where was that at?
Well, we were at Spa over in Belgium, and this was a pretty eventful race weekend, mainly because it was wet and then dry and then wet and dry and wet.
So you had to switch, either choose tires that were gonna,
Yeah, the drivers had no clue what was going on because on Friday they did a sprint format race weekend, so sprint races are on Saturdays. Friday they will do a first practice session, and then they'll do the qualifying for Sunday's race on Friday, which is really weird. But you guys finally get to see the cat.
Yeah,
she's here.
I didn't want her on my lap, so here she is.
Yeah,
she's just gonna hang out.
Yeah, she's just chilling now.
She's kind of a crackhead normally, but continue with what you were saying. So it was a Spa, and then
yeah, we're at Spa.
Was there any accidents?
There was a couple of mini ones.
Considering you're going between rain and dry.
A couple of mini ones here and there. Fernando Alonso spun out, and I believe in the sprint race, he ended up getting penalized for it as for reckless driving, which was kind of a joke.
Spinning out like
for spinning out in the water, in the wet, because he got off the dry line, got on the wet, and apparently he was driving too erratically. FIA is something else, but
fair enough.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Oscar Piastri, rookie for McLaren this year, got P2 in the sprint race and led a few laps in it against Max Verstappen, which is pretty impressive. But yeah, but now I guess just be some little F1 talk here and there. Probably not on the next couple of podcasts, mainly because it is the summer break, but just to have a little segment in there.
We'll pick back up, yeah.
Yeah, just to have a little segment in there, just a little thing extra.
We'll have some racing news probably every podcast now. I think this is a good goal to shoot towards because I think it's a little fun to break up the normal podcast with.
Yeah, absolutely, and it might not always just be F1. I mean, it could be. He could even get into motorcycle stuff too because he likes to ride bikes. So
yeah, some 2 wheels, 4 wheels,
some MotoGP type stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to get into rally too, but I'm not sure what the season is. I don't follow it well enough. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down. I don't follow it well enough to kind of keep up with it, but I'd gladly research some so we can talk about it here on the podcast.
Yeah, but I think another thing, I guess going back to the topic of the podcast itself.
Yeah.
Leave down in the comments some easy, reliable vehicles that'll start you off in the beginning, or some more fun, reliable vehicles like Jake was pointing out in the podcast. Put them down in the comments, or
tell us stories about what your favorite cars were that you owned and why you think they were like really reliable, your best daily drivers, and ones you'd suggest for other drivers.
Yeah.
Like personally, my my Lexus LS400 is not a bad choice either. I didn't include it on the list because I included the SC, but
maybe not in the state that he has his.
Not in the state, not the one that I'm driving it up in because I slammed it and everything. But if you were to leave it stock, that's a perfect car to take you anywhere. The 1UZ is a great option, but yeah,
they sound good too.
They do. They sound like a monster when you cut the
Japanese V8 baby.
All right, yeah, but so it's gonna be another shorter podcast. I think we're at 35 minutes here. So I don't know if you want to keep going or.
Well, I guess one more thing is I believe I was putting some consideration for it, but I think I'm going to make a YouTube channel that we can do.
Really?
So we can have podcast based for the top off, and then we can have a YouTube channel between me and Jake and maybe our friend group, mainly just focusing on car stuff and just goofing off, doing probably some shit we probably shouldn't, but
absolutely,
and just keeping a garage vibe and just having a good time. And also, we're probably going to be changing up the layout of this podcast here soon.
Yeah,
this is kind of just a starter platform.
We're temporarily having this in my room right now, so I don't know if you can see my decorations here. It's not terrible. We kind of had to clean up some shit for this, but we might be moving into a part of the garage, so. A little more homey-like. Yeah. A little. We'll probably have a couch in there. And stuff
we're gonna get ourselves like either a futon type setup, and we're gonna get some hand mics so we can actually talk into them. Mm-hmm. And we're gonna have a kind of a couch set up. Maybe in this podcast towards the end we can kind of include it in as a clip, but we'll kind of walk you guys through the space, and maybe you guys can give us some pointers of what we can get. We're still on the low side of budgets when it comes to the podcast stuff. We got a lot of expenses.
Probably don't want to spend more than like $200 to get this full setup, especially because the microphone's going to be a big part of this. Yeah. And what we're planning on doing is moving to a bigger space where we can have guests, because we got some friends that we'd like to interview and have on the show and talk to them about their builds and all that. So we would love to start doing that. So if you guys have tips or tricks for getting us moved over into a bigger room and what we can do to make it like nice in there.
Yeah, I think we're gonna really try to make it ours and make it focused just mainly for podcasting. Mm-hmm. Just really have it set up, just a car setup, just a bunch of car stuff, Absolutely. Make it cool. So car and garage and workshop kind of combined together. I feel like that'd be pretty badass. But yeah, I guess that'll be that is the Top Off podcast.
Absolutely.
And this
Welcome
is
back.
I guess we'll just call this episode 1, because to me the last one was kind of just more of an introductory. Or do you want to call this episode 2?
I kind of want to call this episode 2. Episode 1 was kind of a good start because it talked about our first cars. Yeah. But, I mean, if you want to consider it a prologue to the whole show, that's all right with me. But I think we could film a better intro than we did last time.
Okay, bet. So then we will do... this is episode 2.
And we'll make a prologue.
Yeah.
After we did all this shit. So
we'll probably be 3 episodes in before we do that shit. But
we'll post it.
Yeah, this is the Top Off podcast, and make sure to... like, subscribe, share it around a little bit, and once we
tell us what you want to see more of.
Yeah.
If you want more beer burp counters, let me know.
Yeah, I didn't even drink all this. Sorry, guys. This is a sipper.
You ready to catch up in the podcast? No.
This is a sipper. I ain't chugging this one.
I'm going to catch up. That's a little loud. I'm sorry.
He didn't have much left. Do you guys like pub beers? I don't know.
They're kind of all right. I mean, it says cheap beer on the side, so I mean... But
it's cheap fun.
Well, we'll get some more...
Anyways, they're not sponsoring us. Let's end this podcast.
All right. See you later.
See you guys. Yeah. So here's the space, guys. It's not much right now. We were originally going to turn it into a bar, but money and priorities went elsewhere.
So yeah, we kind of got some stuff going on here. Let's see if I can get... So we got kind of like a seating area, and then we got, this bar section, an empty wall here.
Whole fridge for beers.
And then this goes into the garage here. So we're thinking maybe like set up a couch right here. So we got the natural light coming in from the window. And then we'll have all of us sitting on the couch and then probably record from about this angle here. But yeah, so this is kind of what we're looking at moving into. It's a little quieter in here, so we can be a little louder and not disrupt the girlfriends.
Yeah, we'll be able to kind of be a little bit more private when it comes to just getting loud and having a good time. We won't have to worry about pissing off roommates either.
That's right. Because we can record at night too if we wanted to. But I think the biggest thing we need here is the lights, obviously, because if we had a light here and here pointing towards there, even we could fill during the nighttime, and even we have more room for guests and stuff like that.
And we need some form of air conditioning in here, like a fan or something.
That is true. It is pretty hot in here. I'll probably open this window, but then you're letting in outside noise, so maybe a fan like over here in this area next to the garage.
Yeah, well, we'll figure something out. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of where we're probably going to move the podcast. So obviously now we're going to be moving things around, so it'll be a week till the next time we film. So
it might be in here
this week. We could be in here. Maybe by the next episode, by episode 4, probably we'll be in here. But just a matter of finding things on Marketplace that we can get, throw it in here, and
absolutely
make it our own. So hell yeah, guys.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, guys, and like I said, thanks for watching. This is the Top Off podcast, and we might see you in this room after this next week. So Sounds good. See you Tuesday.